Hi guys, hello. I'm going to give you a full second to guess what we're going to be reviewing today. Yep, it's Rise of the Eldrazi. So today we're going to go over the foil set for Rise of the Eldrazi. Let me make sure that I have everything in set, but let's look at this gorgeous playmat. I'm so happy with it. We have beautiful Emrakul, Ulamog, and Kozilek. And let's see if all the cards are in pan. There we go. All right. Before we start the set review, so the set symbol is the Hedron. And that's really what it is. It's about the full-blown invasion of these ginormous Titans, mega beasts, that eat mana and destroy entire planets. They bring about this new mechanic called Annihilator, and they have little spawns, which are these little Eldrazi that go all across the plane, rampaging and murdering the scene. And we have our fellow planeswalkers that unite and try to freeze them or stop them with any way that they can. For a long time, it's discontinued now, but for a long time, with every set, you would have a player's guide, which told you a little bit about the lore, what happens here. You know, the perils facing adventurers on the plane of Zendikar have taken a deadly turn. It throws you into the realm and the story, and on top of that, it shows you, well, it tells you a little bit about the important characters like Emrakul, Ulamog, and Kozilek, but and then the nice people, I guess, Gideon Jura, the nice people. They're all good or bad, right? There's also, of course, the level up mechanic, and then here you'd have a showcase of all the cards in the set, which I won't spoil too much because we have the cards right in front of us today. So, oh, of course, and we're gonna have some. This is the All Is Dust for Judge promo, which leads me to believe that I may have made another mistake in my collecting and will have to buy a All Is Dust foil because it seems to be lacking. Maybe it'll be somewhere. We'll have to see. Of course, we have our Titans. Oh, and this was the pre-release. There we go. Can you see the date on the video? I think a little bit here. Yep. 17th of April, 2010. That's how long ago. That's the first time we were ever introduced to these ginormous creatures, which are, I think, a pretty important part of Magic. Even though we haven't seen them in a little while, they're still iconic and important. Yeah, the big spaghetti monster, that's what they call Emrakul. And then I believe there's another promo. Yep. Sorry, we're going to take also our time here to go over these gorgeous pieces of giant spaghetti monster. Emrakul and 15 Squirrels was the combination card we were hoping to see against the Phyrexians, but we never got it, only in fan art. These are the three beautiful versions of Emrakul. This one was only released in 2017, so I'm not sure how appropriate or how fitting it is for this set, but I put it in here. So, let's continue. We have, of course, It That Betrays and Kozilek, which is the second of the Eldrazi Titans, alphabetically. I don't know. In importance, I feel like Emrakul's the number one, but then who's the bigger boss between Ulamog and Kozilek? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments which of the three you prefer. We see the crazy dynamic, the crazy mechanic that is Annihilator. Whenever it would attack, your opponent would have to sacrifice four permanents, depending on how big the Annihilator is. The biggest Annihilator 4? Annihilator 6. Yep, Emrakul. Big baddie. And then we had the level up mechanic, which is the very first time we ever saw this in Magic the Gathering, where you could spend mana here would tell you for 2 colorless, you would be able to up the stats on your creature. I wonder if it would be fun if there was a level up for planeswalkers that wasn't just with abilities, that you could also vamp with mana. I see that I have a promo Deathless Angel, which is really cool to see the full art extension on the card. I should have died that day, but I suffered not a scratch. I woke in a lake of blood, none of it apparently my own. The War Diaries. Yeah, the stories, the lore, it just gets me, man. I would love to hear which is your favorite card in terms of lore. Like, what little card text have you enjoyed the most? Harmless Assault. This is just a common, but look at this. It looks like a gorgeous angel that's fighting either an Eldrazi monstrosity or something that resembles Ulamog, probably one of its spawns. After encasing it in the paralyzing beam of light, the angel studied the Eldrazi as a child would study a bug, curiously and without fear. Curiously, interesting. And here we spoiled the Core Spirit Dancer, which saw so much play in Historic on Arena, and in a lot of these Aura decks, and then Linvala, which is one of the main legends and characters on the plane of Zendikar. She's very played and shuts down your opponents. All right, I'm calming down a little bit because, there's Soul's Attendant, which I think went through buyout recently, or a spike. It's expensive again. More level up cards, which are really gorgeous to see. I hope the glare isn't too bad. This is a fairly big set for being the last set of 3. Like, we went over yesterday Scourge, and it was, I think it's 143 or 145 cards, and that's the last of the Onslaught pack. And here we had Cast Through Time. We had, what did we have? Yes, we had Onslaught, Legions, and Scourge. And here we have Zendikar, Worldwake, and then Rise of the Eldrazi. Gravitational Shift. And you see, yeah, how the Eldrazi just changed the whole plane. It's very, to me, this was just a very, very fun set to explore and try the new dynamics. I think there's even some mill in here. Is there the crab in here, or is it in the other expansion where we revisit the invasion of the Eldrazi when they return? Because what happens here is that they were just trapped in time, or frozen through this alignment of the Hedrons, which we see in the lands later on. But we have all these tribes and planeswalkers that work together to trap the Eldrazi's. Training Grounds. This was one of the most expensive cards in the set. Probably still is. We'll see that, and I'll just tell you right now. Yep, it is. But because it's being reprinted, or at least it was leaked that it was going to be reprinted in the March of the Machines Aftermath set, it's gone down in price from probably $40 to $20. Drana and Linvala, we see that in the newest set that just came out, March of the Machines, where the two of them pair. How fun to see a vampire shaman align herself with an angel. What's your favorite level up card? Inquisition of Kozilek, first time we saw this. Very, very played card. And so fun to go through, because this is the first time we saw many of these cards, like Nirkana Revenant, right here. That was then reprinted in Battle Bond, and for a while the foil of this was worth quite a lot. I would love to hear what was your favorite card and what are the sets you'd like to review and what kind of formatting you'd like to see for these episodes. I'll do what I can with my editing skills, which I've harnessed over the last 5 days with all of you, have you seen over the videos. Here we have the Kargan Dragon Lord. We get a little bit of Pringle foiling, as you can tell, because we've quit the vintage foil era. So this was the next foiling that came from Wizards of the Coast. Does not hold as well, I can tell you. I keep them in identical conditions as I do the other ones, and I protect them all the same, and yet they warp significantly more. Here we have another one of the pre-release cards. Lord of Shatterskull Pass, 23rd of April 2010. So we saw 17th of April on the Emrakul, which means that was a pre-release, and this is probably the buy a box. If I had to make a guess, that's what I would go with. Is he a legendary Minotaur at some point? I forgot the name of the Minotaur warlord from the planet of Zendikar, or the plane of Zendikar, as we should say. Splinter Twin, always great, always played in a deck with its name. Ancient Stirrings as well. Before this is I think a pauper staple. Forgetting my words. And the Umbras are all making a comeback, which is really fun with the Umbras, is that they protect your creature, and then if you kill the creature, you just simply remove the aura, which is very, very powerful. So maybe you have an aura deck. Gigantomancer, what is this? For 8, a 1/1, pay 1, target creature you control becomes a 7/7 until end of turn. This seems like an absolutely awful card, yet it must have... Does it have some play somewhere? It's just very interesting to me. It's fun. I feel like when they designed the set, they really just had a good time trying new things. And with the art, you see the hedrons in the background. And what is the text? All life is driven by an indomitable will to survive. I simply turned that into something more tangible. The Hydras, that was one of the Mythics. Yep, Mythics first came with, I believe it was Scars of Mirrodin. We'll have to check that. We'll go over that set soon, I think. Depending on if you guys want to go over it. So let me know what sets you want to go over. And we'll discover when is the very first time that Mythics came into play. Sarkhan is one of the 2 planeswalkers of the set, I believe, and is the only multicolored card. Sarkhan the Mad. And then we have a few important artifacts that were printed for the first time, like the Eldrazi Temple. And here we see all the lands, which are basically the alignment of hedrons on all parts of the plane. Hi, Bubbles. I don't know who's left in the video to see the top 5, but I'll do that for you, of course. I just love really seeing the art. And look at this, the hedrons in all their forms on all the planes, as they're shown, like in continuity. I find it truly stunning. All right, so quickly, we have a special mention for prize-wise. This is non-foil. So the non-foil most expensive cards are It That Betrays, $20. Then we have Linvala at $21. Training Grounds and Emrakul at $25 both. Ulamog for $30. And yes, all that's left is Kozilek at $35. So these are the 6 most expensive cards in the set. And for foils, it's we're going all the way to the back. Surprisingly, the most expensive card is actually, at the moment, is not an Eldrazi, but it's Linvala. The most expensive foil for the set is Linvala at almost $300. She's 280 something. And then we have the 3 Eldrazi Titans, followed by It That Betrays. So as we saw again at the beginning, Emrakul, Kozilek, Ulamog, and It That Betrays, which are Emrakul $230, Kozilek $140, Ulamog $90, and It That Betrays at $70. This is a slightly longer video. I hope you stayed with me till the end. I wish you all a wonderful day, guys.